My wife tuned me into this one, and I believe she saw it on Vigilant Citizen. But this was the New Year's Eve celebration in Seattle at the Space Needle with a light show by this group called Borealis. So notice that it starts celestially like that with the old cosmos, the NASA impression of spirals and everything else out there in space gases, and boom. Now all of a sudden everything turns electric. Turns almost AI, turns almost virus like. That looks like an upside down virus. And then it goes to the needle in the DNA strand, which gradually splits apart, and then all craziness breaks out from there. So symbolically, this thing is nuts as we get into some occult symbols and sacred geometry, which also just is beautiful. They're beautiful geometric shapes. See, and my wife didn't want to look at this for fear of brainwashing, and I don't blame her one bit, but I couldn't resist because I really do just love seeing art like this, and this is really a spectacular thing. And that group Borealis has done some amazing stuff, but look at this symbolism. The lotus to the monarch, the new beginning, and it's almost like a glow-in-the-dark, definitely genetically modified butterfly turn into dust, stardust or something. There is so much that goes on here. So I sped it up a little bit, and I'll just comment over it. You can check it out. There was some music that went with it. It was like very dramatic. I didn't want to include that. I stayed away from listening to. That way I could form my own kind of impressions of stuff and just observe it differently. And very interesting things with the lotus, Jainism, and all different kinds of other things. And I believe, I kind of see the lotus as a good thing, as coming out of the swamp, but there's all kinds of different symbolism that other attributions have come to it. And so this one is just, I mean, look at this, look at the dust up there. There's definitely some demonic stuff happening in there, and different faces, or just definitely faces. But that again happens when you mirror things like that too. So I try to come at this from like an artistic perspective, and with appreciation, because it really is beautiful. It's pretty amazing. And I've always actually thought of like trying to figure out a way where you could like create a massive artwork out of something, out of like the atmosphere, like build something beautiful that's never been done before. And this is pretty cool in that aspects. And so, but it definitely is laced with some symbolism. And like I've looked at a lot of the other companies' works, and they're very beautiful. They do a lot on Tartarian structures in Europe and all over the world and stuff. This one just seems to have a darker tone. The other ones had a lot of bright colors and history and stuff. This one's just very strategically symbolic in a way. And I keep kind of looking for the one kind of thing, which might be the very beginning, the first pretty much 10 seconds, which kind of puts the foundation in for all this other stuff. And so, like one kind of purpose that is the true intention that underlies all that we're seeing and all this symbolism. And there really is just a lot of AI things, and you can tell there's maybe some filler in here at different times. But boom, that looked like a question mark. It looks like a clock, like I did the gears. Something kind of crazy. There's a dove, but it's like mechanical almost. Like look at all this stuff. This is like some interesting stuff for New Year's in Seattle, where all the riots and weird stuff happens. And also, but there's kids there. There's kids in that area. Like you could have done a lot more beautiful things, I think, that were a little more positive if the people in charge of everything were good. But hopefully, we can change it all, change the culture, bring the beauty back, the Renaissance. I firmly believe will definitely happen in my lifetime. I know it. We have to make it all. So again, boom, all different kinds of like matrixy, just AI stuff, almost reminiscent of like Tool and different styles of that, or Adam Jones and Alex Gray's type of kind of art. All the colors are very neon-y, Blade Runner-y, kind of future-y. There's not really any like true, I don't know, like reds or bright greens or there's yellow. That's kind of surprising, but this part's intense. And the DNA strandy kind of thing going up to this, some crazy lattice work, tentacles, the jellyfish and lotus and all these symbols. The petals almost look like antenna falling. Golden ratio all over the place. And the fireworks. This is pretty interesting too. This is all kind of like I don't even know, futuristic-y things. The planet's a simulation. The planet's part of. There's a lot of ways to analyze this. I recommend you all do, and just jot some comments down in the down below. Let me know what you think, because jeez, look at this stuff. And I can't lie, it's beautiful. It looks really beautiful, and hopefully my music will be more positive to it. But it does look beautiful, but it's just very interesting. Look at the top of the dome, the lattice work, the pattern of the dome at the North Pole. See, this almost could be a representative of the North Pole kind of thing at some part during this. And maybe it's this, but look at that, just like a model, a mobile. They just joke about that. They probably know what's really there, because we don't. And I hope we find out. Whatever they feed us I don't trust at all. Nobody should. You have to question it. It's better to question it than just believe something that's just could be total bull. It's better to ponder the possibilities and hopefully bring humanity closer to it. Now those parts, the very kind of male-likey, they're almost like the dervish twisters dancing, but falling away. It looks kind of like rain, but digitally rain, chemical rain, the aurora borealis up at the top, dancing around. What are they thinking? What are the people that are in charge of all these things? This is not good. It's like the ooze from Ghostbusters / just like corrosion, meeting from top to bottom, just melting that thing, melting the needle, filled with corrosives. Very symbolic stuff on so many levels. I'd like to find out who the actual main art director was, or wonder if they'll ever put out a video of them doing this and creating this, the process, or if there's a way to find out who wrote it, who wrote the script-ish for it, who plotted kind of what was going to come and what the theme and storyline would be. They go back to the fireworks at the end. Yay, all the stuff we showed you. Hooray, it's beautiful, it's fun. Now the needle's going to take off. It's going to blast into something, I don't know. But wow, it is impressive. Can't lie. No matter what, from an artistic perspective, it is. You can tell a lot of work went into it. Even just simulating those views from inside the Space Needle, that's very impressive. This stuff is just impressive. It looks really cool. And it'd be cool if you could see it in reality. I think this is just a digital projection onto live footage, but if you could see it in reality happening, that would be a whole nother sense of magic. But very impressive to be able to even visualize it. A lot of work, so you give them credit to that, but hopefully they are not poisoning the minds of people. And this part is a little intense. Not sure what this is. It's just all very ominous and dark, where it's like New Year's, and it didn't have to be. The last thing people wanted to see was dark stuff. I think they would have liked to see animals, eagles flying, elephants, roaming through space in a beautiful way, just innate parts of I don't know, something cool, plants, beautiful flowers, more than just symbolic regenerative lotuses and weird sacred geometrical shapes that potentially all have dark connotations, dark colors, weird scheme, everything blasting off, needles, DNA separating. It's all not very positive, not very all ages friendly. So check it out on your own at the regular speed. Check out the music, do what you'd like. Bless you all. Keep an eye out.